As you can see, I did not hit that transfer portal. I am coming back to Notre Dame, and this year we are getting that championship. Earl Baduki is coming. Going into the first practice of my sophomore season, I came out here and was strapping these wide receivers up early. And I won a championship, so I'm going to come out here 100%. But I hit this running back with a good hit. And I told him I was coming. But coming into the next play, I tried to lay this boom on this running back, but he gave me the stiff arm, and this was embarrassing. But just a couple plays later, I came down and laid that boom and made him fumble. I got him. And I told him I wasn't walking away like that. But after a great practice, coach said you are in no danger of losing that starting position. Went into our home opener first game against Virginia Tech. I came out intense. I mean, I came down real hard and laid that boom on the running back and made him fumble that ball. As you can see, I was causing turnovers early. And as you can see, I picked up that ball and we were turning up. I mean, that set the momentum for the game early on. But going into the next drive on 2nd and 5, I got this one-handed interception, and oh my God, that was a spectacular catch by Earl Baduki, and I was turned up. But as you can see, we are up 14-0, and things are just going my way early on. And I mean, it's 1st and 10, and I run all the way across the field to hit this quarterback out of bounds. And as you can see, me and my teammates, we all just laid on this quarterback. On this next play on 1st and 10, I laid that boom on that running back, and I was fired up. But going into the next play on 3rd and 7, this quarterback nearly threw me another interception, but I deflected the ball. But as you can see, going into the next play on 1st and 10, this quarterback rolls out of that pocket, and I'm trying to take ACL, MCL out, and I tried to end his career. After having the ball out game, I ended the game off with 6 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. Going into our next game against 0-1 Northwestern, I mean, we came out rallying that ball. We all got to that ball, bound intentions on 3rd down, and I got up and made sure that quarterback felt me, and I told my teammates, hey, we here for a game, fellas. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, we had to cover 2 man-to-man, but that quarterback was running that ball, so I came all the way across the field and wrapped and rolled him. But going into the next play on 3rd and 8, this wide receiver got a release on me, but I still laid that boom to make up for it. Going into the next play on 2nd and 10, they are getting closer and closer to that end zone, but I'm not going for it. I'm taking ACL, MCL out, so get out of my way. And I got up and pointed to the sky, because all praises to the Most High. But they end up scoring. But on 1st and 10, they're not scoring anymore, so I get a tackle for loss on this running back. But we just failed to stop Northwestern driving down this field. They convert on 4th down. But going into the next play on 1st and goal, I completely cleaned this running back clock. He felt me. But on 2nd and goal, we were in man-to-man, but I turned around and got pancaked as they went in and scored. But we're going to lose the game 17-0, and I come up with 0 interceptions, but I had 7 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Going into our next game against Purdue, I mean, it started off a little shaky. I mean, I almost caught a tipped interception. But I mean, I just couldn't get that quarterback to throw my way. But on 1st and 10, I run across the field and get a gang tackle with my teammate. We're going into the next play on 3rd and 9. I try to come down and seal that is. I mean, he run me over, but I still brought him down for the tackle. Going into that 4th quarter on 1st and 10, I almost had the same exact pick I had from my first game, but I dropped the ball. But I didn't have a well game. I mean, I had 2 total tackles. It wasn't one of my best games. Going into our next game against number 19, 2-0 Michigan, I mean, we came out strapping these wide receivers up, so our D-line got to that ball with bad intentions. As you can see, on 2nd and 7, they had a halfback draw, but I came and obliterated this running back. Going into the next play on 2nd and 4, this wide receiver was trying to drive me in, but I worked my way back outside and got this running back on this read option for a tackle. But on 3rd and 5, just look how I almost had this interception on this curl route. I still manhandled this wide receiver and made him look bad. But going into the next play on 3rd and 7, I mean, these wide receivers are so strapped up. Our D-line gets there, makes the quarterback fumble. The D-lineman picks it up, and he will go for 6 to cause a turnover and a touchdown on that defense. But on 1st and 10, you cannot throw the ball Earl Baduki way. He will strap you down. But I end the game off for 3 total tackles. Going into our next game against UNC Chapel Hill, I mean, I started off intense on 1st and 10. I ran all the way across the field to make a tackle on this running back. We're going into this next play on 3rd and 5. This wide receiver had no separation from me. I was on his right hip to bring him down for a tackle, and I was fired up with my teammates. We got off that field with bad intentions. Going into the next play on 3rd and 8, I was waiting for this quarterback to throw the ball to him. I was being patient, and I finally broke on it, and I mean, he already caught the ball, but I tried to rip that thing out. But he held on to that ball. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, I was giving these wide receivers no room to have separation. I was sitting them down as soon as they catch that ball. On 2nd and goal, I'm beating myself up all night about this one. I had a pick 6 to the crib, but I dropped the ball. But on 2nd and 10, I got a little too comfortable in my cover 3 zone, and I let this wide receiver burn me for the touchdown, and I was making mistakes out there. With 15 seconds on that clock on 1st and 10, I mean, this wide receiver almost broke away, but it was me to beat, but he couldn't beat me. There's 6 seconds on that clock, and they are going for it all, and I mean, they throw it up, and I nearly have an interception, but I dropped another one. But on 3rd and 10, they're going for it all. I mean, they draw up the Hail Mary, and I mean, the quarterback throws the ball up, and the wide receiver catches the ball, but we tackle him on the 1-yard line. And that was an intense game, but I ended the game off with 6 total tackles. Going into our next game against 2-1 Syracuse, didn't start off well. I mean, they striked early and was running that ball straight up the middle and got a big game with a 32-yard reception. And I mean, they were not coming to play. But getting down to that goal line on 2nd and 1, this running back literally stiff arms me and make me look like a fool. And they go down and score. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, I run all the way across the field and lay a big hit on this running back on the sideline. As you can see, never give up on a play. I fell on the ground, got back up, and went and made the tackle on that running back. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, I came down, laid that boom on that quarterback. Oh, he felt that one. Going into the next play on 2nd down, they were so strapped up, the quarterback couldn't get him the ball. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, the quarterback completes the pass to the wide receiver, but I set him down as soon as he caught the ball. And on 3rd and 12, I had a cover 3 zone that I was covering, and I don't know what my teammates were doing in the middle of the field, but he caught the ball and took it all the way for 6. Getting into the 4th quarter where it matters on 1st and goal, I mean, I completely stopped this running back from forward progress and get a tackle on him. That quarterback ran me over. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, this wide receiver ran the weakest route I ever seen, and I read it so perfectly and dropped a one-handed pick. And I was disappointed in myself. But in overtime on 4th down, we could have got off that field, but I missed angled this tackle. And I was really frustrated. But on 1st and goal coming down, I laid that boom. He felt me. But he didn't feel me enough. They ran that ball to the left side of the field and go and score and win the game. But I had a ball that game with 7 total tackles. Going into our next game against Virginia after coming off of a loss, I mean, we come out looking like trash. Again, this running back just stiff arms me. 3rd down, this running back throws my teammate off him, and I come in and finish him off and celebrate with my teammate because we are here. But as you can see, going into the next play on 4th down, I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was in a cover 3 zone, but I was man-to-man and gave up 6. Going into the next drive on 2nd and 4, they are driving down that field, and they punched that ball in, and they are not playing with us. But going into this next play on 1st and 10, I ran this route for this wide receiver, and I ran it so perfectly. I got an interception, and I've been waiting for this all week. And I told my teammates I'm going to make it count when we need it. Going into the next play on 2nd and 6, I just got totally caught up, not in my zone, and this wide receiver caught the ball to end the game. I ended the game off of 4 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against Stanford, I started off intense on this curl route. I picked it off and almost took it for 6, but I got tackled. And as you can see, Earl Baduki is back. This is the 2nd game in a row that he has gotten an interception. But going into the next play on 2nd and 6, this quarterback scrambles out of that pocket, and Earl Baduki is trying to take ACL, MCL out. As you can see on 1st and 10, this tight end breaks 1 tackle. He goes up that sideline, breaks another one, but I come in with my full speed and rap and roll. Going into the next play on 2nd and 15, I let my team down. I wasn't in my zone, and he caught the ball for the touchdown, and they won the game. But I had a not too bad game. I had 3 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against Arizona State, we had to start off intense after coming off 2 losses. I laid that boom on that quarterback early on. As you can see, going into the next play on 3rd and 1, I thought I was going to undercut this ball and have an interception for a pick 6, but I didn't. But on 3rd and 8, I stayed patient, as you can see, but this wide receiver caught that ball, and I came down so quick and deflected that ball. And I looked at wide receiver in his face, and I told him there is no fly zone when you have Earl Baduki to go against. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, I sealed that edge and laid that boom on the running back. But going into the next play on 3rd and 8, as you can see, I dive at this running back and take ACL, MCL out, but we going to lose the game. I end the game off with 6 total tackles. Going into our next game against Navy, this is a statement game. When he pitched it to that running back, I came down and laid a big hit on him. I made sure to get up and shh the crowd. On 3rd and 13, this wide receiver ran the weakest route, and I caught it with 1 hand with an interception, and they could not stop me. Earl Baduki is back. Going into the next play on 2nd down, I laid that boom, and I am not playing. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, this quarterback must not know who I am. He throws the ball at me again, and I intercepted, but I didn't get my feet down. But as you can see on 1st and 10, my teammate knocks that ball loose, and you know who goes and get that ball like a magnet? Earl Baduki. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, I knocked this running back out of bounds. Going into the next play, we are now in overtime, 10-10, and this quarterback didn't know what to do with that ball, so I came and laid that boom on him, and he felt me. And I told him, come on, I want some more. Going into the next play on 3rd and goal, I dropped another interception. We're going to win the game, and I end the game off with 6 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against 5 and 4 Pitt, I read this ball so beautifully. I mean, I broke on it and almost had a pick 6, but I dropped the interception. But as you can see, it's 3rd and 8, and they had a screenplay, and I rallied to that ball with bad intentions and hit this running back with a pretty good hit. And as you can see, I got up, fired up, and I told them they need to hit that weight room and muscle up. Going into this next play on 3rd and 10, the quarterback absolute launches the ball, and my teammate knocks it and tips it, and I catch the interception, and I could go, but I get tackled. Now, I mean, as you can see, that was a spectacular grab. Going into this next play on 1st and 10, we had a man-to-man, and this wide receiver got me, but I absolutely flat-ironed him. Going into the next play on 3rd and 5, I had my wide receiver so strapped up, but they threw it to the other side of the field and get their first touchdown of the game. I mean, Earl Baduki is just a monster. He almost had his 2nd interception of the game, but he drops the ball. But we're going to win the game, and I end the game off with 4 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against USC, I started off intense on 1st and 10. I got to that ball ball with bad intentions and made the tackle. And I didn't let up one bit. But going into the next play, as you can see, the quarterback scrambled that ball and I dived at them legs and took him out. I mean, every time you go against Earl Baduki, you're gonna feel that hit after the play. As you can see on 3rd and 12, he completed the pass, boomed him, and made sure he can't remember tomorrow. But as you see on the goal line, I totally misangled this running back and he scored. We're gonna bounce back and I'm not gonna give up. But in overtime, as you can see, I stayed relentless and this running back ran me over, but he still came down with me. But big time players make big time plays in big time moments, and Earl Baduki catches an interception in overtime, and we go on to win the game. As you can see, I end the game off with 7 total tackles and 1 interception. Earl Baduki didn't win Heisman, but he won the Chuck Bednarik Award, and he also won the Jim Thorpe Award. With that being said, that is the end of the season, and we did not have a bowl game. And with that being said, Earl Baduki will be entering the transfer portal with 2 years of eligibility left over. Drop a comment down below where you think Earl Baduki will end up or where he should go to.